Hello, my name is Russell Bates. This is EDU540 Section 1 for Secondary STEM Teaching Methods. This is week 3, and the assignment for this week is the Flipped Interdisciplinary Classroom Lesson Plan. And let's go ahead and begin with the lesson objectives, which would be explain how science and technology like radar, atomic energy, and code-breaking machines affected the outcome of World War II. Compare how the Allies and Axis used scientifically during the war. Use evidence from videos, readings, and discussions to explain why science and technology were important for the Allies' victory. Show understanding by creating a short written or visual explanation about how one scientific advancement changed the course of World War II. And in this, we will reach California Common Core Standards and Anchor Standards 10 for CCR reading. Students will read, watch, and comprehend complex historical and scientific texts, video plus article excerpts independently and proficiently. California Common Core Standards RH 11/121, site-specific evidence to support analysis of primary and secondary sources. RH.11/12.3, evaluate explanations for events using evidence. RH.11/12.9, integrate information from diverse sources, such as video, readings, and class discussions. For English language development, CALD standards, grades for 11th and 12th grade, Part 1, interacting in meaningful ways. Collaborative, exchanging information, ideas with peers and groups work. Interpretive, analyzing video and text to understand meaning. And Part 2 is learning about how English works, connecting ideas with academic vocabulary. Because this week's lesson plan pertains to an interdisciplinary class that's been flipped, we of course have to make a heavy emphasis on the previous readings before the classroom begins. So the weekend before or the night before, the students are going to be required to watch a 15-minute video, The Science of World War II, and they're going to be required to read roughly 10 pages out of their textbook that pertain to technologies used in World War II. The assigned reading is on page 100 to 110. And this flipped strategy for a classroom lesson is really an effective one because it emphasizes students to use an independent instructional approach. This allows students to pursue content independently with less teacher direction than in other lessons. So for my 12th grade interdisciplinary history class with a science component that has been strategically flipped, we are covering technological advances of World War II and why they were useful both during and after the war. But before we begin this class, I want to assess the students' ability with the new vocabulary and see if they've completed last night's required reading or watched the video. So for the first few minutes, the students will complete a small multiple choice quiz, which will go on for roughly 10 minutes. Following the quiz, we're going to go ahead and begin the class lecture, and we're going to try to engage the students and motivate them by displaying an image that contains technology used in the 1930s and 1940s. The next strategy we will use to motivate and engage our students will be done with a quick poll. We're going to survey and ask every student, which do you think is more important in war, the size of the army, the economy, or technology? And we will accumulate the results. In terms of new concepts and information covered in this lesson, radar and sonar and detecting enemy forces, the Enigma machine and code breaking, the Manhattan Project and atomic weapons, the role of medicine in saving soldiers' lives. The vocabulary academic language that we're going to acquire from this lesson would be radar, sonar, cryptography, atomic energy, innovation, scientific advancement, mobilization, and impact. A good way of demonstrating and modeling the examples, the teacher models how to take notes while watching video clips. Pause, jot key terms down, summarize. The teacher demonstrates analyzing a short excerpt from Churchill praising radar. The teacher underlines academic vocabulary, highlights cause and effect. Radar gave written warning, time prevented defeat. The flipped lesson plan offers us a number of ways to check for understanding and informal assessment, such as at the beginning of the class, there was a 10-question quiz regarding the material they covered last night. There are quick polls for thumbs up, thumbs down after explaining each scientific advancement, whether or not the class understands it. There's cold call questions, such as why was radar important in the Battle of Britain? We're going to collect and assess student answers on their exit tickets. We're going to review those individually, and the teacher will review them as well. We're going to observe individual students to check for participation, and the teacher's also going to check for comprehension of the content by each individual student. For guided practice, in small groups, students get short case studies such as the Radar of Britain, the Enigma, Code Breaking Machine, Manhattan Project, Each group summarizes what was the technology, how was it used, how did it change the war. Groups share out in a class discussion. And as for work students can do independently, students individually write a 1 to 2 paragraph response. Choose one scientific advancement from World War II. Explain how it helped the Allies win or how it helped the Axis to for independent practice, students individually write a 1 to 2 paragraph response. Choose one scientific advancement from World War II. Explain how it helped the Allies win or how it helped the Axis try to use science. Support your answer with evidence from the video and class activities. Alternative option, students can create a short infographic or digital slide explaining one advancement. And just for closing the class, the teacher recaps a big idea. Science and technology were not side stories. They were decisive. They tipped the balance towards the Allies. And for the exit ticket, the students are supposed to write one sentence. The most important scientific advancement in World War II was blank because blank. Although this is a subjective answer, it's generally understood by most experts to have one particular answer, which would be the atomic bomb, atomic technology. But again, this is subjective, and this would be a good concluding exercise that would make the students advocate for whatever position they believe in for the most important scientific advancement in World War II.